Welcome to the Next Level Life podcast with Christine Corcoran. This podcast is made for the powerhouse businesswomen who are ready to ignite their fullest potential. This is where we will dive deep into the mindset breakthroughs and sprinkle in some kick up the butt motivation so you can scale your business with confidence and clarity. Whether you're craving more income, impact, or inspiration, this podcast will be your ultimate resource for all things next level. Listen in as we have authentic conversations with game-changing female entrepreneurs as we reveal the secrets on what it takes to rise and thrive. So go ahead, ignite your inner fire, and let's get you taking massive aligned action. Are you ready to elevate? Let's go. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about your services or your offers and why they may not be selling. And I want to give you a tool that you can utilize to help improve this part of your business because your offers are everything, right? Everything. If your offer is off, it can affect every part of your business, not only your sales, but your bottom line, like the way, how your confidence level, like so many elements of your business. And so firstly, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and for hitting download. I really appreciate you spending this time with me. And if there's ever any topics you would love me to talk more on, please feel free to send me a DM on Instagram or send me a messenger message and let me know, because I am all for creating content that's going to support you and help you level up, to help you work on your mindset. So honestly, my DMs are always open. So feel free to send me a DM and be like, hey, Christine, I would love to hear about this from you on the podcast. Always open to that. Okay, so I want to talk to you about why your offers or your services aren't selling. The way that I utilize the word offer is basically how you present your service. So you have a service in your business, in the same way you have a product in your business, you have an offer in the way that you present it. So to set you apart from everybody else in doing the exact same thing, you need to really elevate your offer so it is irresistible to your dream clients. Ideally, you want to create something that really hits home for your ideal clients and that they know that you're the right person to work with. So when they're reading or hearing about your offer, it's hitting those points that they're like, yes, this is for me. This is exactly what I need. And I remember when I was really working on improving the offer when it came to Elevate Mastermind, of like, this is not just like what's included and what people get, but it's also like how I help support them with creating the result that they're looking for. And I recently listened to a testimonial from a client of mine who's been part of the Elevate Mastermind and she's continuing on to the next round. And one of the things that she said to me is like, when Christine started to promote Elevate Mastermind, the things that were included really hit home for me. But not only that, the things that I really needed were included as well. So that actually just goes to show that the offer was perfect for her, right? It resonated with her on so many levels. It ticked the boxes that she needed to be ticked, and that made her feel super confident in being able to purchase and make sure that it's the right thing for her, okay? So ideally, that's what you want to do for yourself, for your business, right? We really want to fine tune your offer so that it stands out from everybody else and makes your dream clients rush to buy it. So I want to talk to you about 6 different reasons why your offers might not be selling and how to go about fixing them. The first one is your offer is no different to what anybody else in your industry is offering. So you are literally putting out the exact same thing and going, yep, I'm the same as a copywriter down the road. I'm the same as a graphic designer down the road. I'm the same as whatever industry you're in, insert that there, and it's the same offer, right? It's boring. It doesn't actually help your ideal client determine whether it is the right fit for them. And majority of the time, the reason why this happens is because you are unclear on who your ideal client is, or you're trying to be available to everyone. And that's where it goes wrong, right? It doesn't stand out. It doesn't actually allow you to stand out from the rest of the crowd. And it makes the decision for the customer really hard because they don't know how you're different. And a lot of people can get so caught up in worrying about that because they go, but if I niche too much, or if I speak to one person too much, then it's going to alienate me from making sales from other people. And I want you to know it doesn't. It does not. Like every time I promote my Elevate Mastermind, I have people that come to me that are not the right fit for Elevate Mastermind, but they're like, what else can I do with you? And then I obviously share with them my other offers, right? And so sometimes what we want to do is recognize that that's actually how you differentiate yourself from everybody else. You've got to create something different. You've got to get to know your ideal client inside and out so you're able to speak about the problem that you help them solve so in depth that they know that it's almost like you're in their head, right? You're talking about it in the way that they completely understand because they're like, oh, that's how I think about it. That's how I feel about it. And that's what's happening for me. So it's about really getting close to understanding your ideal client so well And you may need to do market research to do that if you don't feel super confident with that. And I actually am a big believer of going out and doing market research on a regular basis so then you know how to market yourself, because we want to make sure that you're uncovering the language that your ideal client is using so you can utilize that in your marketing as well. Okay, the next one I see that causes sometimes your offers not to sell well is that you don't know actually how to communicate the value of the offer. We get so caught up in just communicating the features, so like actually like what's included, but we're not actually sharing the benefits or the outcomes that it creates, and we're not connecting it to the universal language of value. So majority of people, when they think about getting something of value, they connect it to time, money, or energy. So you want to make sure that you're attaching it to those three things. Otherwise, majority of people don't see the value in it, right? And they've got to prioritize it from a place of value. Otherwise, they will not spend the money on it. And I know this is sometimes like hard to do. It's something that it's actually learning the universal language of value, but it's also understanding what your ideal client really values. So if you don't know how to communicate your value of your offer, again, it falls flat and your ideal client doesn't know that you are the best person to work with. And it's up to you to be able to communicate that effectively. Number 3 is you haven't taken the time to really unpack the long-term impact of your service or offer. So what we want to do is to be able to communicate the value even more, you need to unpack the value. You need to go back and get the testimonials. You need to get the social proof. You need to get your past clients on a Zoom call, ask the questions, and be open to feedback. You've got to create an incredible offer that actually delivers on what is promising. Otherwise, people will not talk about it, right? Like, I absolutely freaking love how my clients go and talk to other people about my masterminds. That's ideally what you want to have happening, right? You want to create referral opportunities. You want to make sure that you're creating something so epic that people talk about it in rooms that you're not in. So if you have not unpacked that information, if you haven't received that information, you need to go out and ask for it. And one of the biggest things that I see that stops people from doing this is they're so fearful of the feedback, because they're making it mean something negative about themselves instead of actually recognizing that you need the feedback to grow and for you to be able to improve it. Secondly, they're so fearful of the client saying no to giving the testimonial, right? Whereas majority of the time, people are so happy to do it, but you've just got to make it so easy for them to give that information. So this is where like surveys come into play. I find that for me, for my ideal client, just asking them to get on a Zoom call is really worthwhile. Otherwise, I utilize other platforms like Vouch4, which is a really great video way to ask people to give you a video testimonial. It's super simple. It's 3 simple questions that I always get them to answer. Or it might be a questionnaire that you ask them to complete at the end. And then you want to give them a reason to actually complete it, and you need to follow up. Don't let it just go by the wayside. Don't let it go like months down the track and you're like, oh my God, they still haven't sent me a testimonial. And then it feels like you're following up 4 months later when they've completely forgotten about the impact that you've had. It's imperative that you get that feedback really quickly, right? Don't let it go over a month. You want to make sure that you're following up with them to get them to fill in this questionnaire or to do the feedback or to do the testimonial as soon as the program has finished or the offer has been completed. So that way you get the right feedback and you get the feedback that's fresh in their mind, right? So you need the social proof because people look to social proof and testimonials in order to see whether 2 things. 1, whether they look like or sound like your ideal client, right? So that your people who are giving the testimonials will show the type of person that they are. And a lot of the time people want to go, well, is that the type of person that I am? Because if it's that familiarity, they're more likely to go, okay, so if they got that result, it'll work for me too. Secondly, they need to hear it from other people other than yourself share the results and impact, right? Otherwise, people find it really hard to believe. People are super skeptical. So you've got to make sure that you share that valuable feedback and share those testimonials because that's actually what is going to share the value of what your offer will give them. So if you haven't spent the time to do that, make sure that you allocate time to do that and make it happen within your business because it will actually make a big positive impact in being able to sell your offers more effectively. Okay, number 4 is that you haven't applied a sales system. So this might be that you are not very confident with sales, or it might be something that you haven't really considered before. Sales is different to marketing, right? Marketing is creating interest, but sales is a conversation that leads them to make a decision. It's very different. And a lot of the time people just get caught up in doing all the marketing and they don't have a sales system in place. And then they get so frustrated because they feel like they're doing all the things and nothing is working. And that's because they have not got a sales system in place. So they've probably got leads sitting there waiting to be converted, but they haven't actually put something in place in order to create an opportunity for a customer to be presented the offer, to be guided through the process, and to be asked to make a decision. So I honestly, like, this is something that I teach in all of my masterminds, because sometimes it's one thing that's really missing from a lot of businesses, is because they're leaving their income up to chance and hoping that the right clients will just find them and be ready to buy whenever they're posting. And that doesn't work, right? It does every now and then, but it's more of like you're only targeting 5% of your audience, whereas 95% need nurturing and need guiding through the sales process in order to buy. So make sure that with whatever offer you have, right, whatever offer you've got set up, we want to go, okay, so what's my process to actually sell this? I'm not just posting on social media. Like, how can I create interest? How can I make sure that I'm building on a group of people that are interested in what it is that I have to sell, and then guide them through the decision-making process of a sales process? So that's number 4. Number 5 is no sales strategy. Now, this is just slightly different. So a sales system is a guided conversation that supports them in making the decision to buy or not to buy. Secondly is a longer-term sales strategy to actually hit your goals. So this is where we go, I've created this really cool offer, but I haven't actually put a strategy in place in how I'm going to go about selling it. And majority of the time this happens because you don't understand sales. And it's okay. Like, if you've never learned it before, you cannot expect yourself to know it. Sales is a process. And so when you actually put a sales strategy in place, you're more likely to be able to attract the right clients, those dream clients, guide them through a sales decision process. Once you have an idea of your offers, then we want to have an idea of how many you would like to sell and how often, and make sure that you're putting a longer term sales strategy into place, right? You may want to test a few different sales systems, but we want to make it actually work for your business, because we need to know how many offers you want to sell and how often. What's your actual sales strategy to make that happen? Because you might be doing all the marketing things, but they're not actually guiding them off the platform in order to make a decision at some point. So this is where you may need to implement a funnel. You may need to actually guide people off social media onto your email list, nurture them through an email sequence before then asking them to buy. You may actually guide them and nurture them to build on your credibility and your trust, so they're ready to make that decision when the offer is presented. And then you guide them to a sales system. So for instance, let me just give you a breakdown, right? So you might go, okay, so I'd like to sell 30 of these offers over the next 3 months. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to map out that 3 months and determine, okay, so what content needs to be shared in order for my customer to be in the right mindset in order to want to work with me more. So we're creating that nurture sequence, we're creating attraction marketing in order for them to know more about you, who you are, what you do, build credibility, right? Then ideally we want to invite them off that social media platform onto an email list, where you then nurture them further in your email sequence, and then create an opportunity for them to spend more time with you. It's not necessarily even just an offer to buy yet. It could be just then guiding them into a sales system. So I might then invite them to an event or a webinar or a podcast or a masterclass, or, whatever it might be for your business, depending on what it is that you do with your offers. And then that will be a decision-making process. So they might join the masterclass, and then that is an opportunity to learn more from you, to be able to be guided by you, to be able to get lots of value from you. So then they can see the value of working with you, and then you present the offer and guide them through the decision-making process, overcome some objections, and then share with them an opportunity to work with you, right? That's more of a specific sales strategy that's actually going to support the conversion, rather than it just being like hoping, wishing, and praying by just posting randomly, right? Another way could be that you actually guide people into your DMs and you have further conversations, and then you guide them onto a sales call, which would be the sales system, right? So there's multiple different ways that you can do it for different types of businesses, but without a plan in place, it's literally like throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping that some people are hungry and find that spaghetti sitting on the wall. Like that's how really random social media can be, and posting and going to networking events without a plan, without a strategy, right? And so sometimes we want to create a really authentic process that feels really good for you, but also great for your customer. Sales is part of your service. So if your offers aren't selling, then it might be time to consider how well you know sales, whether it's time to upskill in the sales element, which is obviously what I teach in Elevate Mastermind, and putting actually a plan into place, so then you have a reason to guide people and direct them to the right place to further learn from you and further buy from you. So if this is resonating with you, I've actually created a free mini course that helps you dive into this in much more depth. So it's called the Irresistible Offers mini course on how to create irresistible offers your dream clients rush to buy, and also how to have the confidence to promote them. So I'm giving you this for free. This is a strategy that I teach within my business masterminds, and it's also allowed me to construct my offers that my dream clients cannot resist. And it also includes a profitability calculator so that you can make sure that you're pricing your offers really effectively that actually support the growth and sustainability of your business. So I'm going to share the link with you in the show notes. You can check it out there. It's complimentary and it's 3 mini videos that actually help you dive deeper into all 3 parts of this. So firstly, I help you create and define your irresistible offer so that you know what you want to offer, what value it creates, and how to communicate that value to your dream clients. Lesson 2 is all about getting confident with promoting your offers. Otherwise, no one will ever see them and no one will ever be ready to buy from them. And then I take you through what exactly to share so that people can see the value in working with you and how to develop the confidence to promote yourself with ease. Then lesson 3 is all about the profitability and pricing, because there's no worse thing than having a great offer, but you're actually undercharging, which then leaves you feeling so resentful and just exhausted because you're probably over-delivering and undercharging. I want to make sure that you're setting up your business that is creating profitable offers that support the sustainability, and that way you're charging what you're worth. So you can check out the link in the show notes, download it. It's free, dive in. I wanted to create something really valuable for you, so feel free to jump in there and check it out. Hope you've loved this episode. And if you have any questions at all, if you have any ideas that you'd like me to share or further topics that you'd like me to share on the podcast, feel free to send me a DM. Otherwise, have an incredible week. Thank you for listening. And if you've found any value out of this episode, make sure you hit the follow button so you get access to the episodes as soon as they are live. And make sure you come hang out with me on Instagram. You can find me at ChristineCorcoran_coach. Have an incredible week.